name's Ben, also known as Mathhead, part of Passions, and biggest affiliation is Trouble and Bass. I live in Brooklyn. I was born in New York. I went to college for a year in California, and that was the worst thing ever. The same college that the Dust Brothers went to, for whatever that's worth. I started making music when I was 18, I guess. Yeah, when I was 18. It was like, the catalyst for it was that the Guitar Center opened up in my town, and all my friends like flipped out and were like, "Oh my god, Guitar Center! Like, let's go play with synthesizers and like MPCs and stuff. That's awesome." Like after I heard DJ Shadow, and I kind of realized that he made music just from records. And I was like, oh, well, I have records. I guess I can make music too. I didn't even know how he did it. I didn't know what he used. I was like, do I buy turntables? What do I get? And then I was like, oh, okay. I get a sampler, and I got that, and I just started making beats with that. And then I got my first MPC off of Adrian at Fu Young when I was like 19, I guess, and that was pretty awesome. And then I just kind of realized that I make music better working off my computer, so I switched to that, and I've just been doing that since. I can't really remember when I really started DJing, but I think, you know, I was really into drum and bass, and a lot of my friends were too, and just slowly we got into actually like DJing that, and it just progressed from there. But for a while, like, DJing really wasn't a priority for me. It was just something that was like fun to do, but I never really thought of myself as that. But yeah, I definitely started producing before, and I wasn't even making stuff that I could DJ. It was like two different worlds. It was like I was playing drum and bass and like house and stuff, and I was making like down tempo, like sample DJ Shadow rip-off music. So finally it's like come together where I can play the tracks that I make. It's been a while. If I wasn't making music or DJing, maybe like helping the world or something, like something good for humanity, not like selfish. I don't know, maybe I think I'd be writing, actually, because I was like pretty much convinced that I was going to be a writer until I was 18 and started making music, and I was like, oh, writing is awful, and like girls are much more attractive or like into music than are into like poets or whatever. So that was like a big shift in my life, but I think I'd be doing that or just something creative, I would hope. I never thought like, oh, I'd be making music. It's like, somehow, it worked out. At the moment, no, I don't. But generally, yes, I have some sort of, you know, crummy coffee shop job or something like that. For a while, I was working at a reggae music distributor, doing invoicing work for them. But then they decided that somehow they got it into their heads that they thought I could make their website, which I really couldn't. So that kind of fell apart. But yeah, usually it's coffee shop work for me. I think the whole music blog thing is, I don't know, it's really, I think, like a huge shift in, I guess, music scenes in terms of, you know, finally I think like, I don't know, it just is a really good way for people to come together in terms of similar musical tastes and things like that. I get most of my information from blogs now, and I think there's just so much hype that's created based on blogs, like on certain acts. Like I don't think like Klaxons would be as popular as they are if they weren't like blown up huge on blogs, which I don't think is a bad thing at all. I just think it's interesting that this shift has gone from like Spin magazine to, you know, Fluo Kids or Dirty Down blog or, you know, Palms Out or whatever. Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for the blogs, like I wouldn't be anywhere in terms of my music career as I am now. And like, it was a big deal for me to be written up on like certain blogs. I was like, wow, I've made it. Like, that Big Stereo wrote about me, wow, that's like, I know a lot of people are reading that and pay attention to what those guys say. I'm a huge nerd, and it's really incredible to me that all the stuff that signifies me as a huge nerd is like now really popular culture and mainstream, and Magic and Aleister Crowley and stuff like that, when it's like, I don't know, it's stuff that I've always been into, and like really into, like, oh, Mayan calendar, the world ends December 23rd, 2012, and like chaos magic, and comic books, and like all like stupid stuff, but is now got this weird, like, oh, that's okay, that's kind of cool. I mean, I get a lot of influence from, just weird, stupid stuff, like chaos magic and situationist theory and all that stuff is like fantastic to me. And a lot more recently, I really enjoy DJing way more than playing live or whatever. Just I don't know, I think in New York it's much more fun doing like a live electronic show. DJing is just like really satisfying. I really feel like New York as a city is like part of who I am, and like really in my blood. Like I feel whenever I'm not here for a week or two, I immediately am, oh man, I gotta get back to New York. And wherever I go, I'm always comparing it to New York. And even though I think everyone who lives in New York is often complaining about certain things about it, in reality it's, for me, like the greatest place on earth. I don't know, the sheer scale of it makes me just stop sometimes and like, wow, this place is huge and there's so much going on, and just makes you feel like, oh, I gotta work even harder, and everyone else around me is going like 2,000 miles a minute. And I think it's a really good time for the city right now, because I think a lot of people are pushing in one direction and kind of coming together in terms of music and nightlife and art. There's just something about New York that I just can't find anywhere else. And like, I know, like, New York, that's where I'm gonna die, and that's like, maybe I'll leave for a few years, but I know this is it, this is like my home.